Hello class, today I'd like to show you a couple of resources for helping you get through the rather convoluted system of figuring out what nonprofit law really is. I'm going to show you two different resources, both available through the Auraria library. They're available through, one or the other is usually available through almost any public library, so even after you get out, you can check out and look for these resources. Now, as you know from your readings, or you will know shortly, nonprofit law derives from many, many places, including what we call common law, which is to say that we're still using some of the English law that was created in the olden times by Queen Elizabeth. And a lot of that law is moving forward. In fact, some of the law that we use was created in 1022 by William the Conqueror when he took over England and made Anglo-Saxon law for the first time. Other law is created by statute. In particular, the IRS code has created a lot of law, and we read about that in Sandberg's piece about social entrepreneurship and how social entrepreneurship is in some ways created by the nonprofit tax code. Other laws created by the states, state legislators, state legislatures, and also the secretaries of state, and just what they care about at the time. And a lot of the law is political. So it's a convoluted process, but there are certain things that you should know to try to stay out of trouble to the best of your ability. Things like the newspaper article that we're reading today about a nonprofit that got in trouble. You can remember Acorn got in trouble. That wasn't a legal thing, but that was a political thing. And they had a few legal problems that also contributed to that. And then, of course, the Central Asian Institute, which is always a good example. He got in trouble. The Montana State Attorney General did, in fact, get him in a lot of trouble. So here are the two resources that I want you to look at. One is I want you to go to Nexus if you get in trouble or looking up law for today's assignment, the discussion, or whenever. Try Nexus Uni. And what I want you to do is go to a publication, and it'll be called a Nexus Uni, or in public libraries, it'll be called LexisNexis. Go to the publication and type in AmJur for American Jurisprudence. Where to go? There it is. Now, American Jurisprudence is a very neat resource. It has almost anything you can write about. It has it in every jurisdiction, in every area, every jurisdiction, everything about law. It's a terrific resource. It's actually an encyclopedia that just describes what the law is. So, for example, if you were to go and type in AmJur, click on American Jurisprudence, and then search the term nonprofit fiduciary duty, you'll pull up something, or nonprofit fiduciary duties. Corporations. So a lot of the nonprofit law is actually corporations law, which is that old-fashioned law that I was talking about that has been adjusted. And there you have an answer to how closely held corporations and nonprofit corporations owe a fiduciary duty. See, very simple, very easy. It can be a little convoluted and hard to read, but it can give you a great start in terms of finding out what the law is and what statutes and cases deal with the law. So here are all the different cases that deal with fiduciary duty law in closely held corporations and nonprofits. Another place that you can look, which is where I usually go, is Westlaw. Westlaw Next. Let's type in Westlaw Next. Also a database, so you can find it through that database thing very quickly. Why am I not finding it here? Here, let's go to the database and we can find it really easily. Westlaw Next has a really cool thing that also helps a great deal. It's called Key Sites. And Key Sites will walk you through any sort of law that you need to know dealing with mostly case law. So click on Tools and see this West Key Number System. If you click on the West Key Number System, you can look at any number of things. Look at all these different subjects. And some of those will deal with nonprofits. For example, corporations law, which will be over here someplace. And what I was thinking about showing you is um, the law on public employment. A lot of your and public contracts, right? A lot of your law as nonprofits is going to come from the fact that you're in government contracts, and these government contracts require certain things. So a lot of the public contracts law is going to apply to nonprofits, including the constitutional provisions there. So if you need extra help, try going into these systems. Use the key site if you need to, or just try to look up the statute directly if you know what the statute name is. You can look up the statute in any state or wherever. Also, these secondary sources include dictionaries and sources like American Jurisprudence 2 in Westlaw and other law reviews that can help you. But primarily for today, Black's Law Dictionary is really helpful. If you run into a law term that you don't know, you can simply type it into Black's Law. Like a term that we use way too much in our field is equity, which is actually a legal term meaning a court that doesn't do equality, it just does equity. Here we are at equity. Okay, so if you see something that you don't know, try Black's Law Dictionary on Westlaw Next through the Auraria Library. This is our last discussion until the second to last week, so enjoy it, get into it. This is going to be basically the end of your discussion grade, which is one of the easiest grades in the course, but it's very important that you do it and you do it right. And if you need me, please, give me a shout. I will be busy from Friday until the next Tuesday, the 9th through the 13th, doing a huge conference that's here in town. The American Society for Public Administration is in Denver this year. I've gone every year. Last year was in Georgia, but it just happens to be here this year, and it's going to be big, so I'm going to be pretty much unavailable. And but do reach out to me before Friday if you have any questions. All right, thanks a lot. Bye.